There you are. Got a hair sticking up here. That's not cool. Again, that's going to drive me crazy. Charlie Greer podcast again. Duh, I do this every day. Today. Sorry about that hair. Yeah, I put some hair jelly in and it just didn't. We're moving on. Hunting the Bell Witch. What? Huh? Well, we used to. We were kids in the creek. What are y'all doing? Hunting the Bell Witch. You know, it's a group of us, me and my sister and the Taylor boys, and you got who knows, my cousins, and y'all be careful. Running the creek barefoot, man. I'm so soft now. When I was a kid, I would just run across gravel, and my feet were cow. Now, if I step on like a little piece of a milk bone, my dog dropped. I almost fall. The pain. Yeah, hunting the Bell Witch. We went hunting her. So my grandmother, Winnie Ruth, she would just always be telling a yarn or reading this Little House on the Prairie or the Bible or, Mark Twain or something. It's about Bell Witch. Who Bell Witch? Do we really want to know? I mean, well, see, John Bell, his family was haunted by the witch. So yeah, long story short, Bell Witch, John Bell. Anyway, this witch haunted the family. And I mean, I think this was in the newspapers back then. I think Andrew Jackson, he's from Tennessee, he was president at the time. He witnessed it happening. Yeah. There's witnesses to this. And she was a bitchy witch. I mean, I think killed John Bell. She done killed him. That's the tale. This was back in the 1800s. So every generation or every 8th or 10th, they're going to come. She's supposed to be coming back for the bells. I don't know. I've kind of forgot the story. But I just knew she was a witch. Tennessee witch, which probably is the worst of the worst. You'd rather deal with the So, of course, in our little hillbilly minds, well, man, she might be down by the creek. Let's go hunt her. Okay, let's go. Get a posse of kids. We're 10 years old. I always had this, I always took a weapon, like a pipe or something, because you always run up on a water moccasin or I always had it with me. Even when I was swimming, it was close and then you got to be careful, kick it and roll, because if it's got a pipe, then that snake might be in there. One time I grabbed it, I was walking, and I threw it down, a water moccasin came out. That learns you. I won't do that again. With a white mouth, they think they're mean. And rattlesnakes and copperhead. I mean, it's just everything. Cryptids. You just want to be, hey. And we're literally walking through the creek. If it's deep, we just swim through it, Sometimes there's a little hole. Somebody has not that big of a creek. But we walk. I mean, we're hunting this bitch. I mean, witch. You see her? No. And so you could take my grandmother's house, and we'd sold the land, but my great grandfather kind of lived near the creek where my grandmother grew up. I think that the house had been torn down by then. So we started there. It's off the highway. It goes through town, behind the laundromat. Hey, anyway, so get down there. And there's an overpass. You can't really see it from the road, but the creek goes through it. There's 3 of them. One of them has got the water and the moss. The other 2 are kind of rocky. And one of them, I think, is clogged up with this mud and rock. You couldn't even get through it. Of course, there's spray paint. People don't have spray paint, do graffiti in mud. Good times. So we could take the creek, walking the creek, not on the edge of the creek, through the creek, barefoot, past town. You could take the creek, man. I don't even know where you end up. That creek runs past town. I remember the first time we passed town. That's a long way. Hours. Don't come home till almost dark. So we hunting the Bell Witch. You see people, it's weird how people don't think nobody's in the creek. And some of these people have backyards that run to the creek. Well, we saw what you were doing. It might have been this day, I don't remember, but we stumbled up on a couple fornicating, if you will. What are they doing? Let's go, run, get out of here. Looks like they're fighting, I guess. You're a kid, you don't know. So we're looking for the Bell Witch. We were certain we were going to find her. She's here. And my grandmother, she told us this ghost story. Well, now y'all be careful now. If you tell us about the Bell, you know we're going to go hunt her. We're a bunch of hillbilly kids from Tennessee. That's what we do. We're curious. We're going to find her. She's down at the creek. That creek now is probably, Lord have mercy, it probably can't even, it's probably poisoned. Maybe not. Maybe the water is still clear and it's full of bluegill and crappie. So yeah, we're looking for the Bell Witch, determined and confident we're going to find her. We've all got sticks and pie. What are we going to do when we find a witch? Do we even understand what a witch is? We don't even know, huh? See, we thought we did. And again, my sisters, my cousins, the Taylor boy, we're all down there. We're all walking, hunting the Bell Witch. What'd you do this summer? Well, we were hunting the Bell Witch. I know. I'm not trying to be braggadocious. I know how stupid that sounds. But as a kid, that's what we were. In our mind, that's the only thing you can do. Duh. What is she going to do except hunt the Bell Witch? Well, that's what good times, you know. So we get down there, of course, we figure out how far away from home we are. The creek looks different. I've never been this far. So we turn back. It's just hours to, again, we're walking through the creek. We're not walking the edge of the creek, man. That's for city folk. Some places you have to swim through it. And I remember saying, man, this is a good swimming hole. And I did. I figured, hey, we'll rock that up, make it a little deeper and fish. Because I used to know how to, I used to make fishing hole, spend the day making a rock wall or whatever. And just coming back the next day, there they are. You didn't have to fish. You just grab them. I would take my grandparents had a restaurant. They had these industrial pickle plastic. And I'd take the lid off. And of course, I had to clean it because it smells like dill. I mean, it's, oh shit, no fish is gonna, or maybe they did because I would go build my wall. It took a few days. I was determined. Put the thing facing the tie, the whatever. And stuff it with leaves and rocks. The current, you want to face it towards the current. And but not in the middle. You put it on the side there, and you put the stuff it with leaves and rocks, and weight it down, and walk it behind. Boom, pull it up and look. I've caught water snake coming up. I'm surprised I'm alive. I'm surprised. Some of the biggest bluegill I ever caught was that way. My grandparents like, where did you get this, Charles? Well, down by the. But that's what we did every day. I'd be running this creek. So that day we're hunting the Bell Witch. We are back. I'd call home, but we're still in the creek. So we're at the overpass I was talking about earlier with the three, And now, okay. I think that I forgot how many of us there were. 10, 14 of us kids. We'd done told everybody what we were doing. My grandma, on the man, they're hunting the Bell Witch. So it could have been somebody new just to teach us, So we saw the bell, we thought. So we get back, and the one that's blocked up, and there's one that's semi-blocked, and the one you can walk through. Be careful because you're sliding on that moss. And I remember I was like, well, I'm going to hang a little bit. I was going to do something, check my traps or whatever. And the girls we saw this witchy. She was in black. She had like this old black. She's at the back, the very end. Can't see her face, right behind her. Black, old looking dress kind of thing or whatever she was wearing. And we saw her, the Bell Witch, and just took off. Now, in reality, it was probably one of somebody's heard that we were looking for. So we're going, well, let's dress up, let's scare him. That's some hillbilly shit to do. So 99.9%, it's probably somebody's, one of the Taylor boy sisters, or somebody, somebody, one of the Murphys, who knows? Dress up like, it was scary, man. I was drop that pole, running again, barefoot. Dude, it is gravel, like real gravel, Tennessee gravel. Again, I could do that back then. Just get home, Grandma. We found her. She's down there. And of course, well, let's go. My grandmother, bless her heart, she's, how old was she then? Her 70s or something? Because you could walk down our backyard, the hill, across the field, then there was the gravel, and then you could walk behind the whatever, and then there's that with the cricket in the. She wanted to see. Of course, nothing's there. But also, that's the first time in my life I kind of felt like it was also a creepy feeling. Again, you're young. Um, you're looking at the first, either it was paranormal or somebody dressed up like the Bell Witch. Either way, it was scary. So it was the first time I felt, and that there was a feeling in the air, like, I don't know. Again, somebody was dressed up like the Bell, had to be. Yeah, we never did figure out, and that's another hillbilly thing. They're going to tell you, they're going to laugh. They don't know. It's like an ongoing joke where they laugh to themselves. They still don't know. Maybe if someone's watching this from Tennessee, Smithville, odds are they're not. But maybe it was you, or somebody who scared us doing the Bell. Well, that was the last time we went hunting the Bell Witch. Okay, that's and actually some of them when I couldn't get people to go to the creek. Again, I spent my summers in Tennessee, wherever I was living. I lived. My parents divorced. I was living with my mother. Christmases in Tennessee, summer, all my life, all summer. I had enough time to. Every day I was down there. I mean, I literally would get up. I'm sorry. My grandmother would have like, ham and a biscuit or something. I'd grab one of those and bam, gone. Be careful, Charles David. All right, Grandma. Love you. Go down there. But then I would always stay around. I had my main trap there. Me and somebody had built like this swimming hole so the water would get deeper. There was a bank. That's where my main bit, where I'd get the clay. And of course, you got to pull it out there and then wait, all the worms and whatever's in that clay will come out, man. A couple hours, they'll start. Because you don't want to, like, if you don't know this hillbilly knowledge, you make a little pot with that and then put it in the it'll be popped in the bow hole. It'd be all these weird edges where these bugs were. We learned you too. My grandmother, you got to work that clay out, let it sit in the sun. Of course, these bugs. Then you wet it again, and you can use it now. Everything was covered in clay. I mean, my poor grandma, all the cleaning. You guys got to stay out. Let me spray it off. Like, we out in the front yard just spray it. It takes forever. This orange clay that just like, good times, man. I'm lucky that I had, just go. I could just take off. I mean, granted, I ain't going anywhere but the creek. And of course, we wouldn't go hunt the Bell Witch, but we wanted my grandmother. She had all these books, and she was like, okay, let's tell you another story about the Bell Witch. Well, where'd she come from? How we know? See, you can't really see her. She just talk. You can hear her, and then she's all, paranormal, poltergeist activity, whatever. I mean, she was mean. She beat up the bells, grabbing hair and slapping and beating. And of course, why would we want to go look for her? Because we're kids. We just want to see, what else is there to do? Hunt the bell. That's your only option, basically. Go to the pool. We'd go to the pool up. My grandparents got up like at the crack of dawn. My grandfather Will. So I just get up with him, and he's like, making coffee. And he was so funny. He only liked 2 shows. The Three Stooges or Gunsmoke. That is so opposite. He loved the Three Stooges. That's the only time I ever saw him laugh. Matter of fact, he'd watch the Three Stooges and he would like revert to this kind of funny, and as soon as it's over, but when you watch Gunsmoke, it's more. That was it. Gunsmoke and the Three Stooges, done. That's what he would want to. And of course, back then they would run Gunsmoke and the Three Stooges. He'd get up as a crack of dawn, like the sun's not really, and I would get up. He's making his coffee and I'd hang out in there with it, watching the Three Stooges or By the time Gunsmoke, I like Gunsmoke, but it was more So I would do both. I would get up. My grandfather try to drink. Let me have some. You're not going to drink it. I'll try. Strong and black. So I'd get up and run the creek. Come back about like 10 or 11. I forgot when the pool started. And of course, have to be sprayed off before I could even take a bath. That's another thing. My grandmother didn't have a shower. Everybody takes a bath. So spray me off. Get me in the bathtub just because they're not going to let me in the pool with caked hair, with whatever I was doing. Go to the pool. You know how many times my grandmother dropped me off? Don't run through the grass. And then get stepping on bees. And I'm allergic to bees, but I'm still going to stay. We'll take your Benadryl or whatever I was thinking. But I would Google the Bell Witch of Tennessee. Maybe the legend doesn't say she's about to, how many generations? She's coming back. I'm sure there's because I've watched it wasn't that good, but I watched a thing on the Bell Witch years ago. I was like, the Bell Witch, see the Bell Witch. My friend's like, oh, this is stupid. Maybe there are some Bell Witch Society where these people go deep dive, they're out there. We got to check it. Maybe they should go to that creek. They should wander down. Maybe the same person will fake that they're the Bell Witch. I don't know. Perhaps. Let's just leave it at perhaps, because it could be, Have you seen the Bell Witch? Perhaps. Yeah. But some of the best times of my life, that day, again, you live all this life, you have all these experiences, and you're meeting people and going to, oh my God, what? See, and whatever it is. But these thoughts come in every day. You're thinking about that day you ran the creek looking for the Bell Witch. You wouldn't think at the time, you'll be doing something else. And then in the back of your head, remember that one day? And again, a lot of the people that were our hunting team or whatever, our posse we put together, they didn't go back. They were convinced that I already kind of knew. I was like, man, I was trying to explain to them. We done told everybody we were hunting it. Don't you think they told? There's like 14 of us. That means there's at least 28 to 40, 56 people that know. So don't you think one of them is kind of hillbilly enough to be laughing? Let's just dress up in this old dress or whatever it was. And stand at the end. Another thing, she was just stand like in a horror movie, like stand, whoever it was. And the sun was coming behind her. We get to see her face. We see hair and this. And run. Pushing people over. Maybe once I get a better camera and mobile, and I can. Here I am in Smithville, Tennessee, hunting the Bell Witch today. That kind of. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll write that on my list. It's funny how I do my podcast. Like I'll write stuff down when I talk about. I've had friends write stuff down because I tell y'all, you better tell them about that. There's a lot of stuff I'm censoring myself heavily. But today I was going to talk about something else. And this happens a few times where I'm typing in the info and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to talk about. Let me talk about this, which I was already going to say, skip in line. All right, this is already written down. I was like, I'll skip ahead, mark it off. Some of these things I might keep continually. You never know. I might later on get a hankering to YouTube the Bell Witch, and maybe there's some better documentaries. Maybe there's a Bell Witch Society ghost team that goes hunting her. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch that. Then that'll, inspire me to. There's got to be other people. I mean, we're not the only kids. We didn't know every. I mean, you know everybody, but you don't really hang out with. You hang out with whoever's closest to your grandma's house, basically. That's what I mean in my world. Yeah. Well, there's so and so and them. And me and my sister used to be. She would. She's a little older than me. She's 18 months older than me, or 16 months. Like Scottish twins. So when I was 10, she was like 12, maybe. But we're so close. I mean, you grew up with your, you don't realize till you get older how close. And her and I were. She was always like, really. And we'd fight like cats and dogs over like candy, stupid. But we always had her back, and we were always like, um, supportive of each other. You're going through the same shit. But yeah, we would. And I had my circle of friends. She had our circle, and then the next thing you know. But that creek, hunting the Bell Witch, silly. That sounds like a yarn if I've ever heard. Made me like smarter. I don't know how to explain it. Like life experience. Again, it's good to read books, and I used to read a lot of books, and my grandmother always read to us. But just experiencing it. Like say if you are a Bigfoot researcher or something, there's only so much you can do online. How many books? What that? Go to the library. You got to get out there in the woods, and maybe you'll stumble upon one of these hairy cryptids. You probably don't want to. They'll follow you home, man. They will start having like poltergeist activity in your house. What's this thing at? And the Bigfoot laughing his ass off, or she, or the tribe, whatever they are. Even as a kid, I didn't even know what a lot. I just knew certain, like there's places in Dry Creek you don't go, and I didn't want to go too far away from. As long as I could see houses on the creek and visit, you could still see through the tree. You at least run through there and get strange things. Like what do they call those things? Anyway, there's a lot of times I would see my dad was we would see, and I'll do a podcast about this. Like these naked people or naked dude, what a skinny dude, pale. We just thought they were some hillbilly out there. I always just see quick. What do they call those things? I don't know. Maybe I saw those too. Because when I saw some, I was like, man, is that what I saw as a kid in the woods? My dad and I used to fish everywhere. We just thought there was like these naked people that lived in the woods, pale, and never could see their face. And one of them was bald. I mean, you just saw a glimpse. A lot of times they'd be like walking weird, like on their hand. I don't know. I ain't hunting them. Again, we'd leave. My dad was like, oh, that, because we even had a name. What do we call it? Like we thought they were these hillbillies living in the, were naked. No, see, no. Let's get as far away from. Let's get out of here. I mean, my dad and I, of course, he's a hillbilly too. No matter how many doctor's degrees, whatever he's got or had. The fishing poles are in the trunk, man. Be driving along, hey, rain, what? Let's just pull over, and you just pull over and fit. Just walk through the weeds, and there you go. We ain't catching out. Move on. We don't even plan on fishing. We were going to buy like pork rinds and a wrestling magazine or something. And it rained. The creek, because a lot of creeks are dry. That one creek, that's why they call it Dry Creek. Most of the time it's dry, but when it's flood, it's a river basically. So when it rained, hey, we can fish. And sometimes it would just be muddy, current fast. You throw it out there, and man, you get the biggest. I don't know how they're hanging out in the current. I don't know. Some of the biggest fish I ever caught were just pulling over. It rained. Right out there. What in the? Pull up some big whatever fish it was. And of course, I knew how to like scale it, gut it, skin it, whatever, cook it. I could just be, hey, see, easy done for, get some water, let it soak, just salt it, and make my own fire even. My grandpa, well, don't get too close to the house. Keep it over on the. They let me do a lot of hillbilly stuff. Well, that's what you do when you're a hillbilly, just let your kids just. I was young. I mean, they let me have a lighter and a knife and I had a pellet gun. That's another thing, running with my pellet gun, which was my dad's. So this thing was a one pump, this thing, it was many a good time. I'm going to do a podcast on that. Again, I'm using the theory or the mindset of, well, what do I got? Who am I? What am I going to talk about? That's who I got to be me. I'm not going to fake anything. Try to be somebody. Yeah. Again, that's harder too. That's too much energy, man. You gotta no, see. If I do me, then hell, I can do this all damn day. Not even, so that's what I'm doing. I kind of learned that from Howard Stern. Listen to Howard Stern. It's like, look, I'm this, that. Yeah, all I can afford are these dipshit interns stuttering, pardon me. I'm going to make them and me famous. We're going to lean into this. And he did. That's what I'm saying. I grew up listening to Howard Stern. That's some hillbilly shit right there. Using what you got, And it turns out to be the best, Well, what do you got? Well, we got some poke salad and okra. That's the best shit you've ever tasted. By the time my grandmother put some bacon grease in it, and I don't even know. Red onion and, Can I have some more? Pardon me. I got to quit smoking. I quit smoking for 11 years and started again a few years ago. My hillbilly. That's another hillbilly thing. I started smoking again. And I got nerves and anxiety and panic. That's another hillbilly worrying. I got it under control, but that's just, everybody's got a little bit of something. So that's mine. The Bell Witch, I would give anything, man, to be back in Smithville. Again, I'd be wearing shoes this time. Maybe some snake repellent and a gun. I'd want to be more armed. Or at least my pellet gun. I don't know. I don't have one now, but I'm not armed. I have a knife or a gut in but I ain't got no guns or anything like that. I don't need that, but yeah, I'd love to be back. Find some of those dudes I ain't seen in like 30 years and go walk in the creek. Can you walk that creek? Is it just like chemical bubbles? And I don't know. I'm hoping not, man. I mean, that's God's country in Tennessee, man. Those shit. Beautiful. Stuff's expensive now down there, bro. The rent, that is more than, because I was going to go. I was going to move back. I'm still thinking, but I have money. How much for a one-room apartment? No. And where is it at? And I know everybody. I mean, my cousin ran for mayor recently. I mean, I done known everybody. And worst of all, again, they know you. That's even worse. Forget about you knowing anybody. They know you, Charles David. They know everything about you. They saw you the other day. Again, they're going to find out. They're going to know. Somebody's Aunt Bessie saw you doing something, told your grandma because they went to school together. What? You can't hide anything. You think you are because you're not hearing it, but everybody's talking. Don't say much to anybody. Secrets. That's why people are so secretive like these, because they know everybody's going to know. It could be 3 a.m. and you're just doing something like, well, I'm going to fish early or go set some trap or whatever. And a couple days later, well, yeah, see, I get up early because whatever they're doing. Saw you. You saw me. Well, I wasn't looking. It's just it's dark and the lights came on. Done saw you, putting stuff in the back of your truck. Wonder what he's doing. I hollered at you. Didn't you hear me? Oh, that's another thing. People waving when you drive. Everybody just wave. You don't even know who it's the cops. I wonder if they still do that. I wonder if people just wave or do the hand up. And then people getting offended, like, Charles, you didn't wave at me. I didn't see. I was turning my head. I don't know what I was doing. I don't take it personal. That used to happen. Like, you didn't wave at me. Well, I mean, I was totally into singing that AC/DC song. I'm dumb. Well, again, I'm doing this every day. Come hell or high water, the creek don't rise, and that kind of thing. But I love y'all. Be blessed. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.